Hello, good evening. It is Friday at 7:30, so the weekend starts here. This is over and over and over again. It is the Arsenal Women's Weekly. What a week it's been. Another decent week for the Arsenal women. Unbelievable game the other night, of course, in away at Lyon. We will be speaking about that. Also, last weekend, of course, we got the WSL back up and running, didn't we? A hard-fought victory against Reading. We'll look back on that game as well. And it's another busy week, isn't it? With a trip to Liverpool on Sunday and the next Champions League game at the Emirates on Wednesday, isn't it, next week? So, no, it's Thursday, isn't it? So it's a busy week, lots to get through. Let's get started. Beth Mead's in behind, plays it across. Caitlin Ford's going to score, and she has scored. This fast start has been rewarded for Arsenal. 13 minutes played. So it is the Arsenal Women's Weekly, episode 5. We're up to episode 5. It seems like the season's been going on forever, but anyway, due to various different kind of international breaks and what have you, it is week 5, and we are back. Obviously, the usual panel are in. Good to see everybody on this Friday evening. Andreas, good to see you. Have you had a good week?
Yeah, a great week, and as you said, the weekend starts today with the Arsenal show. And after this week, we are all looking forward to the show and to all the topics we have to discuss.
Yes, and we're all looking forward to the weekend's games as well, I'm sure. Matt as well, very good to see you again. You okay this week?
Yeah, I'm good. I've changed my name to Arsenal's Northwest correspondent. It's a joke between myself and the Arsenal fans on this from the supporters club because Liverpool is quite local, so basically I've got all the details and all the bits and bobs. So this week has been amazing, and this is just the start of the weekend. So looking forward to it, and can't wait to get started.
Yeah, it's going to be another good weekend, I'm sure. And Emma as well. Emma was on time this week, actually, which I know makes sense. So it's good to see him actually early for once. So it's good that you've made the effort this week, Emma. Good to see you.
Yeah, no, good to see you as well. Been another fantastic weekend. Yeah, lots to talk about, and it's lots to reflect and lots to look forward to as well. So yeah, let's get cracking, as we would say. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think the best place to start probably we do think maybe chronologically, perhaps start last weekend, the first game back after the WSL break, and it turned out to be a little bit more tricky than we maybe anticipated. It was a game that we obviously deserved to win, and we were the better team, but when it's only 1-0, there's always a danger you can concede a goal or a sloppy thing, and in the end, we relied on our goalkeeper, Manu Zinsberger, to produce 2 or 3 really good saves to keep the clean sheet and keep the win. But I think it would have been an injustice had we not won, even though we weren't quite at our best, were we? 1 or 2 players maybe not quite at their best. But it was a great goal from Stina. I thought she had a great game, and it was, I say, a well-deserved victory overall. And, of course, we should have scored a few more goals. Kim's penalty wasn't the best, was it? And that would have settled the nerves down. But ultimately, we got the job done. We got the win 3 in a row. Shame we couldn't have got the goals needed to go back to the top on goal difference. But, I mean, that's not that important at this point in the season. But, I mean, Andreas, what did you make of it overall? Because we played well at times. We were maybe a little bit sloppy at times. Obviously, not having Leah and Rafa at the back probably didn't help in the early part of that game at times. But we got the job done, didn't we? And that was a good sign.
Yeah, this was the most important fact that we got the win. We took the 3 points home. No doubt that we deserved to win. And it was after the total match. There's no doubt that Arsenal was the better team and deserved to win. But when you lose so many chances, when you miss so many chances, and it's still 1-0, and one single action would be enough, and you lose 2 points. So when when did Kim last miss a penalty? And
Yeah.
other chances, I think we hit the post once, if I remember correctly.
Twice, yeah.
But the last 10 or 15 minutes, Reading could have scored. And there
Could
was
have.
a fantastic save from Manu and Frida with a header on the line. So,
Yeah.
yeah, the weather conditions got worse. Then everything is possible. So, yeah, after 90 minutes, I was really glad that we took the 3 points and just forget about the match. It was deserved, but it was not good for our nerves.
No, it wasn't, especially coming so soon after the men's game, which had been even worse for the nerves. So it wasn't a very easy Sunday afternoon in the end. But ultimately, yeah, you're right. At the end of the season, hopefully, that no one will remember that game, but the 3 points could well be massively important, especially when you bear in mind what happened against Birmingham last season, and it was all set up for a shock, wasn't it, in a lot of ways? But we went there, got the job done, and overall, I thought it was a professional performance, even if we wasn't at our best, and we managed to win the game. And yeah, we should have scored a few more. And I think Kim last missed a penalty. I think it was the season before last. I can't remember who it was against now.
I think it was Birmingham City. Birmingham City?
Oh, was it? Yeah, it could have been Birmingham. Yeah, she scored the rebound, didn't she? I think remember she missed and she scored the rebound.
I don't remember, but we still won again 3-0 if I recall, but I don't remember.
Yeah, but anyway, she doesn't miss many. That's a fact, and it was unusual. It wasn't a great penalty, but yeah, that was disappointing because that would have. I think if that had gone in midway through the second half, we'd have probably scored 3 or 4 and won comfortably, but it didn't. And then we were under pressure at the end, weren't we? And like you said, the weather didn't help. It was a difficult game, but we got away. We found a way to win, and that's the most important thing. I mean, Matt, what did you make of that game? Because it was nervy at the end, wasn't it? We were all a little bit chewing our nails and hoping for the best, and luckily we got through.
Oh yeah, 100%. And that was the problem. Really, was that just before that, we only had 2 days of the squad being there together after the international break, so that played a part. You would have thought because we had the Sunday evening slot, that would perhaps give us a little bit more time to get everything, and that sort of helped. I think that helped a little bit more, but at the same time, it also hindered us. We've seen other teams go on and have the 12 o'clock game on the Saturday, and they're fine. It'll be interesting to see what happens this weekend because you've got 2 games on the weekend. One at 11:30, I believe that's the Tottenham game, and then you've got Man City at 12. So it'll be interesting to see how that differs to whoever's got the evening kickoff. But fair play to Reading, they dug in deep and they limited the amount of shots on target. I'm just looking at it now. So they've got 21 shots, 6 of them went on target. Reading had 7 and 3 of them went on target. So that kind of tells the story of the game was all Arsenal, and it just that kind of you could feel that they lacked each other as understanding. There was a couple of times that I've seen. I'll probably mention it in the Lyon game where passes went askew or they should have played someone else in instead of going for the shot. But it felt like almost like a free for all, and Reading would be if it was Reading this weekend instead of Liverpool. I think Reading would have been like, well, we must have. I don't know how we managed that, if I'm honest. But fair play to Reading. They played really well. It's really odd now because they've got Emma Mitchell, who's now changed her last name, hasn't she? So she's married. It's very difficult. But then Jackie Burns was in goal as well, making her debut. It's a huge step up from the WSL as well, and she delivered really well. So congratulations to her because she was really good for Northern Ireland, even though they were letting in 5 and 6 goals against England and Norway. But it's good to see that these sorts of players, especially homegrown in quotes, players are now coming up and going, oh, okay, I can actually see where I am and what I can do. Fair play, but 2 days of training to get to that game, and you're sort of questioning, was it really should have? That what could we have done to change that? Because 2 days of training is not good enough.
No, it was a quick turnaround, obviously, with the internationals and stuff like that. And it wasn't ideal for us, I suppose. And maybe the fact we had some players missing as well, some key players missing, and a couple of players playing in different positions to what they would normally play in, and players playing who wouldn't normally play. So yeah, it was, things were against us in many ways, but ultimately, as I say, we managed to get the win, and that's what matters ultimately, isn't it? It doesn't really matter too much how you play after time. The 3 points are all that counts, and that's what we did. I mean, Emma, what did you make of that? And obviously, it was a difficult game, a lot more difficult than it maybe should have been, perhaps. But it wasn't. And Matt's right, isn't he? Because Reading did play well. Their goalkeeper, I say, Jackie Byrne, I thought she was brilliant. Actually. She made some good saves, didn't she? Because that would have, we could have run away with that game in the first half when we had a few chances. But they played well, Reading, didn't they? They were really up for it, and they maybe will feel a little bit unlucky they didn't get something. But we were the better team, wasn't we, overall?
So what was that last bit?
I think we were the better team, wasn't we, overall?
Yeah, no, we were definitely the better team, and we had a bit more clinical edge here. We would have won that game far more comfortably with the first minute of store was set out, and Jackie Burns made it say this thing is going to be attack versus defence. But as the game wore on, we did take one really good chance. It was a lovely build-up from Kim, and a finish from Stina was unerring. But yeah, the longer the game went on, and the fact that it stayed 1-0, they always had a chance. And yeah, they defended well. They made good substitutions. You expect that from Kelly Chambers, who knows her team inside out now, and she's been there a few years. And yeah, they were willing to take it on second half. They made it a bit uncomfortable for Arsenal. Made the penalty save. Burns made the penalty save, and yeah, they grew in confidence. And certainly, when I can't remember who was it came on, or somebody, was it Emma Harries? I can't remember one of the players when they came on, or whether they started. I can't exactly remember, but they did cause us problems, especially down our right, and force an excellent late save from Manu. So you have to give them a lot of credit, and they dug in, and if they can continue like that, maybe at a bit of clinical edge in the future, they could stay up. But yeah, but in the end, we did well to see it out, and then in the end, the unfamiliar backline partnership of Steph and Lotta did pretty well. Okay, Lotta made one error, but that was it in the end, and ultimately we scored the game off just about. But overall, it can't be disagreed with that we deserve to win the game.
No, we did deserve to win the game. Yeah, it was just a shame. It was from watching it as perspective, it was a shame it was so nervy at the end, because we were, I wouldn't say we were hanging on, but they had a few chances, and it could easily have been a case of dropping 2 points, which would have been a real disaster, really, wouldn't it? Bearing in mind it was draws last season that maybe cost us a couple too many draws. Yeah. So it was good that we hung on, we got the win, and yes, maybe that game helped us. It was, as Matt said, we didn't have a lot of time to prepare for it, but maybe that game almost gave us preparation for the bigger game that was to come a few days later, which we can now move on to, which is going to be a lot more fun. Now, before the game, I think we were all fairly. I mean, I don't think any of us predicted a win last week, did we? We were sort of saying maybe a draw, maybe a
3-1 to Lyon.
And
3-1 to Lyon.
But ultimately, we went out there and gave probably one of the best performances I can remember from at least an Arsenal women's team ever. I mean, it was just sensational stuff right from the start. Was it? We could have scored after about 2 minutes, and the fact that Jonas pulled that surprise, didn't he? Put in Frida Marnham in the team ahead of Viv Miedemar, who hasn't been playing. She hasn't been at her best. Let's be honest. She hasn't been. She didn't play for Holland due to an illness issue. So is she 100% fit or not is the question. But anyway, regardless of that, Jonas made a big call. He put Frida in that position, and wow, what a night she had. I mean, the goal that she scored, she was absolutely brilliant. And that to me was maybe the key. Possibly Lyon wasn't expecting Frida to be playing, so they may not have been prepared for her in the team for start off. So that was one thing that had her an advantage. And two, just the way that she played, she was absolutely everywhere. She was making those runs from midfield, getting into the box. She was driving forward with the ball. She was just absolutely fantastic. I mean, that was like the performances that she was producing when she first came in at the start of last season. She lost her way a little bit, didn't she, through last season for one reason or another. But that was the Frida Marnham that we love, and she was absolutely brilliant. I mean, Andreas, what did you make of that decision to put Frida in the team before the game? Because I was shocked. I looked at that starting lineup and I'm thinking, what is going on here? What's Jonas doing? but actually it was a stroke of genius, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we all thought the same when we saw the lineup. Where's with on the bench, and
Yeah.
playing for what's behind this? But it was tactical masterclass from Jonas, and yeah, probably was Frida's best match for the Arsenal so far, and yeah. She started very good last season, but then often she had to play in a deeper role, and that's not her best, I think. But she was playing in Lyon, just fantastic. She was the perfect number 10. Sometimes she played nearly like a striker or a winger, and she was everywhere. And yeah, especially her physicality made a difference. I don't think that if could have played so physical. Even if she's fit, she's more the technical player. And Frida was from the first moment on. She was a fighter on the pitch. And what we did, we surprised Lyon with the way they surprised last year in the final Barcelona with more physical approach. And to be honest, I haven't expected Arsenal to play like this, because if this was all tactical, then it was fantastic idea from Jonas, and yeah, the players did it perfect on the pitch. It was nearly a perfect performance. I don't think we can do any better, and and yeah, of course there are sometimes you have a match when everything fits together, and yeah, the early goals, and then yeah, the pressure on Lyon. Yeah, the best players made mistakes when Juvenal gave away a ball which lead to a goal, and yeah, it was the one day when everything fits together, and yeah, fantastic.
It was. I mean, you're right. Exactly. It was that one game when it's like every little aspect works tactically, individually. The players, every single one of them were brilliant, and you don't often get games like that, dear, when everything falls into place in that way. And yes, Lyon had one or two players missing. We know that they wasn't at full strength, but then neither were we. Let's be honest. We had our two best defenders missing, so you know that we. You know, Lyon can't use that as an excuse. We both had key players missing. But we went out there, and yeah, I think you're right. I do think we did surprise them. We surprised them with our tactical approach. We surprised them with our lineup, and they couldn't adjust to it. They couldn't deal with it. Our pressing was so good, winning the ball back so high up the pitch. It was just, especially in that first half, it was just incredible. I've never seen it. I know Jonas likes a pressing game, and you know we've done it before, but not to that extent, not to that level. Not every single player just doing it. Every single time Lyon had the ball, we were forcing mistakes. They were kicking it out for throw-ins because they couldn't get their passing going because we were pressurising them so much. It was just absolutely fantastic. And I found myself in the second half in particular when, you know, it was a little bit more relaxed. We got 4 or 5 goals. I actually started to think about the prospect that we could win the Champions League. And I know there's many things in it. Barcelona scored 9 goals the other night. Let's not get carried away. But we gave a performance there that looked the complete performance. And if we can play like that throughout, we're not going to play every single game, but if we can produce performances like that in the big games against the big teams, we have a hell of a chance of we'll cause anybody problems, because that was a sensational performance. I mean, Matt, you must have enjoyed that the other night. It was just incredible to see, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I didn't actually watch the game live. I had to watch it on replay. So,
wow.
This is one of the things that I'm kind of thankful that DAZN has, so that you can actually sit and re-watch the entire game. So I didn't know anything going in until Melissa was messaging me at late, and I was just like, "Oh yeah, it's 5-1." I was like, "It was really odd." How many times do you go to a Champions and get a result? You don't expect to do it, especially in their own backyard. I said earlier that the passing and things like that. I will point to when Lena and Jordan came on. There was a couple of times where they wouldn't. They were trying to ask for the ball, but they weren't getting it. Lena makes some fantastic runs in behind every time that I see her, and she's not getting the ball. And I don't know if it's people getting greedy because because it was 3-0, because it was 4-0, because it was 4-0, because of the scoreline was we were so high. It was just everyone shoot on sight. Sorry, they nearly score there. But it was fantastic to watch, and you have to wonder. I don't think Frida was actually. I think she's admitted this herself in the interview where she said that she kind of plays everywhere. She can see herself as a 10. She can see herself as an 8. She can see herself as a 6. I actually thought she was almost like sitting as an extra deep lying player, so that she didn't need to. We haven't. Kim had that freedom to go forward a little bit more and exploit the space, and that was one thing that felt very odd. Was Lyon just? They were in a huge stadium that they know inside and out, and they just. It was almost like you could have sat down, parked a car there, and watched a movie in the room. You could. Someone could have. It was just unbelievable. I know they had their injuries, and that's going to cause problem. But I mentioned it. I think you could have made a starting 11 with the amount of players that both teams had in that game. But honestly, you've laid down a marker now, and people are going to go, okay, that's 3 points that we didn't expect.
Oh.
Are we going to can we finish top now? Can we? We need 10 points to qualify, so that's 6 more, not 6, 7 more points that we need now to qualify, and that's going to be the marker now. We've got Zurich next week as well, so I know we're going to talk about that later on. But these are all things that are helpful, and I think Jonas realizes how much potential he's got in that squad, not just with Frida, but with the players that he's also brought in. There's players that he hasn't even used yet, like Mana. It's going to be interesting to see how he utilises the squad this season, especially in the Champions League, especially against whoever. Say if we do qualify for the next round, say for example if we end up with a Chelsea, it'll be interesting to see who we end up with, who will play in those 2 games, because with the way that we played, the possibilities are endless.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'll say I was starting to dream in that second half about where this team can go, what we can achieve. Because, I think we were all a little bit worried slightly about the squad depth in certain areas of the pitch, particularly midfield, actually. And we showed, didn't we, that actually we've got plenty of options, because Jordan came on and she's done well when she's played. Obviously, Frida, as we mentioned, fantastic. So we have got good options there, actually, now. And obviously at the back, missing our best 2 defenders, and Steph Catley's come in, done brilliantly. We know Lotta's going to be reliable. Yes, the odd mistake here and there that she still does make, but she was brilliant against Lyon. Actually, fantastic. They all were, and it just goes to show that we have got the strength in depth. And also as well, what's interesting for me is next week, Lyon are away at Juventus, and if they were to lose that game, that puts Lyon, they might not even qualify. Do you know what I mean? That would be incredible, wouldn't it, for the holders to go out at a group stage? I mean, yes, they've still got 4 games after to make it up, and I'm sure they'll be, when they come to the Emirates, they'll be looking for a bit of revenge, I'm sure. But, I mean, if they were to lose their first 2 games, they'd have a mountain to climb, actually, wouldn't they? Especially if we beat Zurich, as we'd expect to. Juventus will have 6 points, we'll have 6 points, and that's a big gap for Lyon to try and make up in the remainder of the group. So it could be a big opportunity this week, actually, for... I mean, putting Lyon out of the competition, that would be sensational, wouldn't it, really? But, ultimately, we can just do our job that we need to do, which is win as many games as we can. I don't know if we'll need 10 points to qualify, actually. We may not need that many. We only got 9 last season, didn't we, and qualified. So we may not need 10, but it depends, obviously, how the games go. But let's try and get as many wins as we can. That's going to give us a lot of confidence, isn't it? I mean, beating the holders away from home in that fashion. I mean, I think, we was all maybe thinking, well, okay, if we sneak a 2-1 or a 1-0, that'll be great. But if we'd even do that, but to win in that way, to dominate the game in the way that we did for pretty much the whole of the 90 minutes against a very good team, that was it almost took your breath away how good it was. It was just sensational stuff. I mean, Emma, what did you make of all that? Because obviously it was probably the best performance I can remember from an Arsenal women's team, probably ever, actually. There's probably been better ones in the past. I still can't, actually. I just thought that was just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't be more. I was watching it. I was staggered the way we were able to get behind them, the freedom they had on the ball, and they were able to constantly pass it, gaps they were able to exploit, forcing them constant into errors. And yeah, I saw a not YouTube, sorry, a Twitter poll earlier. Somebody tweeted out that they only gave Arsenal a 4% chance of winning a game beforehand.
Wow.
We pretty much proved that emphatically wrong, yeah. And yeah, no, as I said, they were past the balls in through their back line. They weren't exactly playing high up the pitch, but we were so confident. We were pressing them high. We were forcing them into mistakes. Everything about that was just perfect. I can't think that was complete. It's not often you give a 10 out of 10, but I think that was as close to perfection, if not perfection, as you could get. Everybody just was on the same wavelength, on the same. Everybody, no, not hardly put a fault wrong. I can't. If you could put any one of those for anyone for man of the match, but Frida will probably just edge it for me. But yeah, no, it was in many ways it was the perfect performance and laid down a marker to the rest of Europe that the English sides are ready to certainly compete with the best this season.
Well, that we are. I don't care about Chelsea. We're ready to compete, and we show that we're ready to compete. But it's repeating these performances when we need to later on in the competition, isn't it? I mean, I think if we'd played like that against Wolfsburg last season, we'd have got through because we would have beat Wolfsburg easily playing like that. It's just, maybe, and one of the things before the game, and I sort of said it in the commentary I was doing, that what I wanted to see, before the game was, but I kind of didn't expect us to win necessarily. But what I wanted to see was, what did we learn from last season's experiences in the Champions League? What did we learn when we played those physical teams, and games against Chelsea as well, particularly without Leah Williamson playing? And what have we learned? And that showed us everything that we learned. What Jonas learned last year, what the players learned, and for me that was the biggest positive sign. And even if we'd scraped a 1-0 win, you could see quite clearly what we'd learned from last season, the lessons that we'd put into place, and what a difference it made. Terry's in the chat there. All right, Terry, good evening. He says, well, no. One time we did predict a 5-1 is the time we win 5-1. So there you go. But actually, what I want to give a big shout out to Rajendra, actually, because in the game he said we were going to score 5 or 6 goals. He did say that at the start of the game. And I thought he was mad, and I've said he was mad, but he was right. So in future, I'm going to bow down to Rajendra's knowledge, because he got that spot on, and I was amazed. But he knew what he was talking about, and I didn't. But yeah, it was just a joy, wasn't it? It was a joy. The 90 minutes was an absolute
magnificent.
Yeah, it was fantastic, and we all really enjoyed that. Now, Caitlin Ford again. She hadn't scored all season, but what a performance again from. I mean, I know, Frida Martin was player of the match. I don't think there's much doubt about that.
The guest wasn't too bad either. Yeah.
I mean, there was 5 or 6 players that could have got player of the match, or more maybe. But Caitlin Ford, for me, I do want to have a little chat about Caitlin Ford, because this time last year she wasn't playing regularly in the team. She wasn't looking herself, and there seemed to be a few issues, and then she went away on the Asia Cup. She's come back, and since then, I mean, wow! How great is she playing? I mean, Andreas. I mean, obviously the other night she was brilliant, the 2 goals and everything else. But the way she's been playing, actually, probably this year since she came back from the cup, she's been fantastic, hasn't she? What a fantastic player she's turning out to be.
Yeah, she's in the best form of her life, and I read an interview from her when she said after the Asia Cup she was allowed to go home. To see her family for about a week or 2, and this helped her a lot, just to relax, to come back to everything, and mentally, and and physically, and she came back stronger with the joy to play, and the will to play, and you can see this since February in every match from her. It's just fantastic. She's so important for our attacking line, and it's great to see this development from her. How she shows week in, week out her abilities, and she can score goals, but also she assists a lot. Her runs are always a threat for the defense line of the opponent, and she's everywhere in the attacking line. It's just fantastic. but it's not only Caitlin Ford, but also Steph Catley is developing very
That
much.
relationship they've got is great, isn't it? The understanding that they've got down that left-hand side.
Yeah, Steph is playing on out of her normal position, and she fits in very, very good. And I think, as we said about Caitlin, we also see the best of Steph now. And another credit to Laura Wienreuter. She came in and we said, oh, she's a good signing for the future, and maybe she can be a good backup for Noel. She had a fantastic Euro, and since then she's our first choice on right back, and she's not only good in defense, she also brings a lot of energy in the offense, and it's her pace and her belief in herself, in her tackling. Sometimes she plays on the wings, and then you see others going back, backing her in the defense. But Laura she has enormous potential, and she's also developing. So I would say a lot of credits to her. I remember when you were last year, you said Noel will never win player of the match, but it doesn't matter. You don't want the right back to win player of the match. Yeah, now we have Laura, and she could. I think she could be player of the match in one of the next matches, because she seems to be everywhere on the right side, and it's not far that she will score a goal. She had some really good chances. So I think this was another great signing of January.
No, it was. I mean, she has been brilliant, actually. She should have scored, though, shouldn't she, against Lyon? That chance she had in the first half when she put it wide of the post. I thought that was the moment. I think she should have scored, to be fair. But no, she has been brilliant, actually, and she has, again, all three signings from January have been fantastic, haven't they? And while we didn't maybe make too many signings in the summer, we perhaps didn't need to, because we got those three in January, and they've all three. I know Rafa's been injured a lot, but she's a fantastic player. We've seen what Stina can do. She's been brilliant as well this season, and as you quietly mentioned, Laura there, she has been absolutely brilliant this season for us so far. It's been great to see. But yeah, I mean, Caitlin Ford's form has been fantastic, and for me, she's the best Australian in the WSL. Caitlin Ford is the best Australian in the WSL. So Sam Kerr's got up her game, I think, now. She's going to competition for that particular role. But no, she's been brilliant, Caitlin Ford. I've loved watching her play, and the goals that she scored the other night were fantastic, especially the second one. Very similar to that Tottenham goal, wasn't it? The same finish in that.
That was the one I was thinking about. Where did I see that similar finish before? Yeah, it was that.
It was that Tottenham game at the Emirates last season, wasn't it? Exactly the same goal into that corner.
Exactly the same one as well against Tottenham last season as well. She was just given so much room. She just thought, right, okay, I'm going to ping it and ping it the corner.
She's been brilliant, hasn't she, Matt? I mean, Caitlin Ford is what a player she is. She's just incredible. I just think she's brilliant.
Yeah, and one of the things I've been up and down with Caitlin, and I'm not going to hide that. At times she's frustrating, but at other times she's a joy to watch. I will look at times like sometimes she makes the wrong decision. I've mentioned it in the past when we're talking about passing. Sometimes she goes for the shot instead of passing it when the cross.
Yeah, she does sometimes.
It's things like that, but they're easy to sort out. But when Caitlin's on this sort of form, she thrives. Whereas I think when she's in and out, she does hit though. She'll have those Laura moments where she's got almost a tap in and she'll shin it over the bar or something like that. No disrespect to Laura, because Laura's been brilliant since she started.
Yeah.
I'm still fuming that Stina didn't backheel it to Laura, and Laura could have smashed it into the top corner against Aston Villa. Instead, she nutmegged the goalkeeper, but that's a different story.
That was a great goal, though. That was a great goal, to be fair.
It's a great goal, but Laura should have her first goal by now. I know technically she's already had one when she played for Hoffenheim.
Yeah, she scored more goals against us than she's got. Well, 4. She has 4, but I'm sure she'll get some eventually.
I think as well, we talked about how good this squad is. I know it's quite small, but the fact is that a lot of these players know each other inside and out, and they can. It doesn't have to be the same thing. I know a lot. To be honest, I know it sounds a bit odd, but Lotta does similar things to what Leah and Rafaela do with the long balls and the heading. Okay, her heading's not the greatest at times, where it might be a little bit short, but she makes up for it because I know people say she's a bit slow. I don't think she's that slow. I think she's quite fast. She's quite fast.
Yeah, she's not really slow. No, I don't think so.
Honestly, if I was to look at that team, the only ones you could complain about are the ones that aren't getting minutes. But then again, if you're complaining about that, it shows you how good of a squad we have. I mean, people are crying out for Jordan to be in that team at the moment, and Jordan's getting 20 minutes here and there. And again, I've mentioned Manuel Bucci, who hasn't even started a game this season.
Yeah.
Does it come on? He hasn't even come on. Has he? He's not been on the pitch.
Taylor Goldie's, I'd imagine she'll be waiting to come back soon, and she's not even getting minutes at the moment, which I suppose maybe we might see in the next couple of weeks, maybe next month we might see it because there's more games. But with Caitlin, I'm going to give her fair dues because I've been quite critical at times with her and frustrated with her. And then she shuts me up with things like scoring in the North London derby, and scoring again in the North London derby, scoring 2 against the champions of Europe. It means a lot that if you're being critical of a player, you've got to hold your hands up and say, okay, fair dues, you're doing it when it matters most. That's the next question, is can they do it against Manchester United, who are supposedly title contenders? Can they do it against Chelsea? Can they do it against Man City? That is the next step. And Juventus as well, when we play them in a couple of weeks.
No, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to maybe get a little bit carried away after that performance this week because Lyon are the holders and they're a great team. And we saw what they did to Barcelona in the final. But it's all very well beating Lyon 5-1, but if we don't follow it up with good performances against Juventus, and we don't follow it up in the WSL with the game against Manchester United, which is going to be a massive game at the top of the league. Obviously, we've got to play Chelsea still twice and that kind of stuff. Yeah, then this performance isn't going to matter, is it? If we haven't followed it up in those other big games and we haven't produced the results and the performances. But the signs are looking good at this moment in time. Everything seems to be clicking. The players are all in top form. And I mean, Caitlin can be frustrating. Actually, I agree with you. But I think she's proving now, and she has done this year, that she is a real top quality player. She's at the very top of her game, and it's really, really good to see. And long may it continue because she's, she's playing so well. And of course, on the other wing, we had the player who maybe was robbed of the Ballon d'Or. Amar, do you think she was robbed of that? Beth Mead on was it on Tuesday night? Whenever the ceremony was, she should have won. Shouldn't she? Come on, let's be honest.
Oh yeah, it was on Monday. Yeah, usually whatever. Well, let's be honest. If I had to invite her to a party, she would be the guest of honor. So. Okay. I don't know. The same. I think in the total, if I'm right in thinking, she missed out on the Player of the Year in August by 3 votes. She missed out on this one by 1. It's just unbelievable. I don't know what they saw in Putellas. Yes, rightly, she's a world class player, but how can you vote for someone that's injured and missed half the year and base the performances like they did with the men's on the individual displays in the 21-22 season when that finished in the springtime? But
well, you got to think as well, Barcelona got beaten in the Champions League final.
Yes.
Didn't even win that. She didn't play in the Euros at all because she was injured. Which wasn't her fault, but she was injured, so she didn't play. Beth Mead won the Player of the Tournament, top goal scorer in the tournament. She got the medal at the end of it. It's like, come on.
I think it was sympathy. I think it's sympathetic in a way. They had a bit of sympathy for what she's been through. That's all I can think about. But what can you say about it? Let's go back to Beth. Guest or no guest or whatever the joke was. She just continues to justify logic, really. She had performances. So I think we'll go back to Caitlin as well. I thought I'd just make a point. The fact that she has those players around her and Stina making those deep runs, and roaming forward, which I saw as well, and creating that space for her to run into as well. That's where she's been able to maximise her potential, and we know that's never been doubted for me. And as you say, having Steph and Frida behind her, even in an interview I was watching on YouTube earlier, after the game, she really praised Frida for her tenacity and her positional awareness and everything, and rightly so. But going back to Beth, I think those two have really developed this formidable partnership on either wing. And well, I don't think they can really switch. Well, certainly Beth can play on the left. Sometimes Caitlin can play on the right. But yeah, I mean, she just continues to impress. Her free kick and even the finish as well for the second goal. She was just
that was brilliant. Actually, that was a brilliant finish.
Oh, so, I mean, you could have driven a bus for that Lyon wall.
Well, yeah, you could have, but it was a great
massive
finish.
gap, but she found it. And this is a goalkeeper in Christine Enlow as well, who's been known for being such a good keeper down the years. And then to finish with the way she did, easily had more, but I mean, what can you say? She just continues to be amazing. And the only slight disappointment was the fact that she picked up the yellow card so deep into the end of the game. And I hope that doesn't mean that if she gets one more, she'll get suspended. But hopefully she'll keep stay on her feet and continue to do what she's been doing the whole of 2022, and just continue to amaze us week in, week out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I got the feeling a little bit, it's been said quite a lot, hasn't it, over the last year or so that, Beth plays best when she's angry. Did you not feel a little bit that performance the other night was because she hadn't won the Ballon d'Or and she knew she could have done, and that she maybe took it out on Lyon and says, right, you're going to pay for this. And the way she hit that free kick, that was, she put so much power into that. It was almost like that was the anger coming out there, wasn't it, the way she struck that ball. And I just thought, maybe that helped us on that particular night that she didn't win because she had that insider that she's something to prove again. And she does seem to play better when she seems to have something to prove. Not that she does, because she doesn't got nothing to prove to us. We know how brilliant she is, but I still think inside her, she still wants to be maybe, I don't know. She's got that something about her, hasn't she? And I do feel that fired her up for that game, actually. You kind of saw it in her goal celebrations, the way she played. I just think that, she was saying, are you watching? All the people that voted, are you watching? Yeah. This is what I can do at the top level against the best team in Europe.
So she's the best player in the world. There's no doubt for me. She's the best in the world.
Nothing. She this year she's been the best player in the world, and she should have won that. I don't think there's any question. And anybody that thinks that she didn't deserve it, it needs to go away and put their head in the fridge or something, because she clearly is the best player in the world.
Do an interview with DAZN. It is available on the Champions League channel, and he was saying about the free kick and everything like that, and it is quite funny as well because Beth has got the interview. It's like part of each interview between Beth and Jonas, and it's quite funny because Beth was saying she's taking it and no one was.
Yeah, I thought that was confident to Caitlin as well, and Denise Kamen as well. I think
it's when you've got that sort of thing going on, and you've got such a great player, and she doesn't get the recognition she deserves, but. You see Arsenal fans praising her. You see England fans praising her. You see some of the opposition praising her. I think this is a lot. This is going to be the funny things that I know we're going to come talk about it. But come the game on Sunday, she's going to probably be still signing stuff, and probably about 3 or 4 hours after the game because
she will 100%. She will. Yeah, of course she will, because that's what she does. She's so humble as well, isn't she? And she appreciates everything that she's got and everything that she's achieved and everything that's come with that. And she doesn't, and she'll never, I don't think she'll ever lose that, no matter how much more famous she becomes. And, she's got a book coming out and all this, that, and the other, right? She's always going to be the same, isn't she? She's just, that's who she is. And she deserves to get every single possible recognition that there is. And she should have won that. We all know she should have won that. It was an absolute joke that she didn't. Yeah. And whoever put that final vote in and shouldn't be struck off the list for vote. They shouldn't be allowed to vote because they made a choice
or something.
Well, whoever votes, it's just.
I think money might have changed hands somewhere along the line, because it was funny, wasn't it? Because it seemed like unless you play in Spain, you're not going to win these sort of awards, are you? You generally have to play in Spain. That's your only chance. No one else seems to.
The oddity as well was the fact that there wasn't many Lyon players.
They won the Champions League. I know, incredible.
Very odd.
And they got further in the Euros than Spain did.
Mm-hmm.
France got further in the Euros because we knocked Spain out. We knocked them out, and then France got to the semi-final. And I agree. The whole thing's a joke, really. But ultimately, it was even more of a joke because the rightful winner didn't get the award that she rightly deserved. And I felt that they showed she did a little video, didn't she, after sort of thanking everybody for the support. And for me, I felt as though she seemed quite disappointed. In her voice, she was disappointed she didn't win. And you know, I don't suppose she expected to win really, but you know, I think ultimately it's a disappointment because she probably knows that she had a much better year than Alexa did, and she should have won. And I think everyone knows that. She knows it, and she took it out on Lyon. So, and she'll be taking it out on Liverpool on Sunday, and she'll be taking it out on Zurich next week, and she'll be taking it out on everybody else that we play. And if we do play Barcelona, I'm sure she'll be taking it out on them as well if we get to play them later on. That'll be really good, won't it? But we'll see. We've had a few comments actually coming in. We got a bit sidetracked there. John's in the chat again. He says, "Hi, Rich. Everyone in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Good to see you again." Terry says, "Evening, John. How you doing?" Obviously, we're talking about Caitlin and the Australian team. He says the Oz team did well in the Olympics. Yeah, they did. They're a good team. But Caitlin's better than Sam Kerr. So there you go. And he said they beat Team GB. They did. Yeah, that's right. They did actually. John says, "Hi, Terry. Just joined chat. All okay. Enjoying another excellent week for all that AFC." Exactly. Yeah, it's been another great week, hasn't it? I'm enjoying these weeks at the minute. They're good, aren't they? John says they're looking good for the women in Europe. Well, it's been a fantastic start, hasn't it? Couldn't have asked for much more, could we? Let's be honest. Jan just says no one else talks about the Arsenal women. I'm disappointed leaving the Highbury squad that you would think would be cheering for the team.
They do sometimes, not a lot.
Not enough people on YouTube are, and is that because they don't feel as though there's enough interest? I don't know. I don't really care. I don't care if no one watches what we do. I like doing it, and it deserves the coverage. I think the team do, and they showed the other night how great they are. I mean, I put something up on Twitter, right, and it annoys me a little bit because all I saw on Wednesday was Arsenal fans going on about Tottenham losing against Manchester United. I'm like, hang on a minute. Wednesday, you spent your Wednesday watching Tottenham play Man U instead of watching Arsenal's women in Europe against Lyon. What is wrong with you? I can't understand it. Why would you do that? And people are saying, "Oh, well, I enjoy watching Tottenham lose." Why? Who cares? I enjoy watching Arsenal win. Why?
I'm watching the City game tomorrow. I'm watching the City game.
Just unbelievable. I just can't believe it. So many Arsenal fans are watching Tottenham. Why are you watching Tottenham? I wouldn't watch Tottenham if they played in my back garden. I'm not interested in watching Tottenham unless they're playing Arsenal. I don't want to watch Tottenham. You know what I mean? I'd rather watch anything. I'd rather watch Love Island than watch Tottenham play. Or actually, I'd rather watch Bake Off than watch Tottenham.
Don't play that Bake Off. Bake Off is good.
Anyway, we enjoyed what we watched, and that was the main thing. We enjoyed that game.
What is this show descended into?
Yeah, but I didn't understand that, to be honest. I really don't understand how people could be watching it.
It's like a school. It's like a school. They told you not to say Macbeth, so don't say Spurs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so it couldn't get much better other than the 4 on screen. Well, no, we're not doubters. We just don't want to be overconfident because it's nice to be on the level really. John says that's why this channel is excellent. The discussions are excellent covering the women's team. Well, thanks, John. Yeah, I mean, we just did. We enjoy the women's team. So as a result of that, we enjoy talking about them, and it's great that guys like yourself enjoy us talking about them as well. But Jan just says I'm not mentioning the AFTV with their ladies who I've met at the women's matches. Yeah, I've seen a couple of them at the games. Yeah, I mean they do go to the game, to be fair to them. So that's fair enough, isn't it? They support the ladies. That's great. Terry says they're spot on, mate. No hate chat and all nice people. Well, we like to think we're nice people, but some people might not agree, but who cares? That's fine. But Jan just says that we can give Beth the over and over Ballon d'Or. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we should always get that from us.
You know what? I was actually thinking of getting a trophy to say the real Ballon d'Or winner, Beth Mead, on it for
give it to her at Liverpool.
Yeah, and Melissa thought it was a really good idea as well. So I am looking into that.
Yeah, that would be great.
That'll be gold if you get.
I'll have to ask someone to film it.
You'd have to get it on video. Definitely get it on video. We'd have to get that on the channel. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? But I mean, yeah, that'd be great. Actually, I mean, I don't know. Is there some sort of plastic trophy you can buy that's a replica of the Ballon d'Or? I don't know if there is. But you'd have to put on it. You'd have to put to the guest or something. The guest as well, because that's, to be honest, right? Whoever put that caption on that photo clearly has never watched football before in their life. They've never watched women's football before, and it's like, what are you doing? Honestly, how could they get that job? They had one job and they couldn't get it right. You know what I mean? The most famous player in football at this moment in time. She's everywhere on the telly all the time. She's won the walls coming out of everywhere, and they say she's just a Viv's guest. Okay, fair enough. Whatever.
You know what? I wonder if she's going to be Sport Personality of the Year.
There's a very, very good chance she might well do, and she deserves that as well, doesn't she? She deserves
that as well. It's not just that. It's like when we're talking about it, a couple of years ago, you wouldn't imagine Beth Mead getting to this level. Now all of a sudden
No.
she's like raised that level, and it's not just Serena and Jonas. It's almost like something's clicked, and she's
inside
made,
her. Yeah, inside
and,
her. Yeah, exactly.
and it doesn't matter whether it's off the field or on the field. It was quite funny as well. You mentioned about it's become sort of like a meme sort of thing where we say guess me, but it just also shows you the fun side of women's football as well, is that we can have those jokes with the players, and the players even find it funny.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I mean, there was that sign, wasn't there, the other night after the game at Lyon?
Yes,
That was
we
good.
did off
Actually, you know what, Andrea? When you
So,
next see,
that's
when you next
fantastic.
see Georgia, get a yellow card and ask her to sign it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that,
mean,
you just said it in an interview with all the success Beth has and the recognition she got after the Euros. She's still such a humble person and so down to earth. And when she was asked, she said, "I'm still my mother's daughter. I'm still Beth Mead, and I'm doing what I was doing all the time. Every morning I get up and I try to do the best for my job. So this is fantastic, and you can't compare this to the men's football. They are not down to earth as she is. And when I saw this post about Viviane Miedema and the guest, I knew that she take this with a lot of humor. And when she commented, glad to go to my first Ballon d'Or as a guest. So,
no, she's brilliant. She's brilliant. And I mean, for me, Beth Mead has got to be or she should become, if she isn't already, like the number one female role model for girls, because she's everything that you would want. You know, if you've got a daughter, that's what you want your daughter to become like her. You know, humble but talented and down to earth, and just she you know, you've got all these celebrities that girls look up to and want to be like. You know. Kim Kardashian and people like that, right? They become role models, and it's like, no. Beth Mead should be the number one female role model because she's everything that's right about the human race, and that's, you know, that should be more. That should be pushed more. You know, yes, she's a female footballer, and that's great, and it's great for women's football, but ultimately for the human race in general and for the female population, she is the number one. She should be the number one role model because she's absolutely amazing at everything, and she's just brilliant, and she portrays herself in such a good way. And to me, she's and I agree with that. Something's changed in her, I think, on the pitch, certainly over the last year or 2 years, hasn't it? You know, she's gone from being a very good player to being what is now pretty much considered the best player in the world, and I don't think anyone would argue with that. You know, that's taken a lot of hard work, I'm sure. You know, she's put the work in, you can see, but it's just a mindset as well, isn't it? You know, when she goes out onto the pitch, you know, she wants to be the best player on that pitch every single game, and most of the time she is at this moment. It's just incredible. But to stay humble as well. You know, a lot of the men's players in her situation would be, you know, they'd be appearing on, you know, I'm a Celebrity, wouldn't they, or something like that.
What we bring up all these different TV shows for?
That's what they'll be doing, wouldn't they? They'll be on TikTok or something. I mean, I know she does a few videos on TikTok, but hers is funny. She's not doing it for anything else. She's having fun. Whereas, you know, she's not taking herself too seriously as well, which is great. You know, she's just fantastic. John says Katie McCabe is the only Irish player, and she's doing well with Ireland against the World Cup. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we love Katie McCabe, which is brilliant, isn't she? And she's playing well, and obviously going to the World Cup. We're going to look forward to that. Actually, the draw's tomorrow, isn't it? Actually, for the World Cup, I think that's
7:30 in the morning.
Yeah, silly time in the morning, so I'm not going to get on watching.
It's 12 hours ahead, isn't it?
That's true. So that's going to be the problem with the games, isn't it? All the games are going to kick off at stupid times. But anyway, we'll make some sort of arrangements to watch them, I'm sure. But anyway, Terry says, now you're regular, John. I think MMM77 should sing you a special welcoming song. Yeah, that's quite a good idea. A little welcoming song for John, like an initiation type thing. That would be quite good, wouldn't it? Vijendra says, Beth always goes to sign autographs for the fans. But yeah, always, absolutely, 100%. Williamson also does it. Well, most of them do now, don't they? Actually, most of them do. Terry says, "Come on, Richard, really love Ireland." Well, you know, maybe Love Island was pushing a little bit too far. But anyway, John says, "Well said, Richard. Thank you very much, mate." Yeah. Regina says, why are we talking about Spurs? They aren't even. Well, exactly. Everyone on Twitter was on Wednesday after we've just beaten Lyon. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? I just can't believe it. Anyway, so Terry says, yeah, spot on, Matt Amido, sports personality of the year. Exactly, she should definitely be. Regina says, you would think ITV would have bought the rights to show the English teams in the Europe. Yeah, you would have thought so, wouldn't you? But anyway, Dazn's got it and it's free, so can't really grumble, I suppose. But anyway, Terry said, didn't realise it would be spelt Spotty. Yeah, well, that's how it is spelled, isn't it? Spotty.
Yeah, Spotty, yeah.
It is Spotty, that's what it is. That's what
wrong with that at all.
That's exactly what it is. But yeah, so yeah, Beth Mead was robbed of a rightful place. But yeah, everybody else knows she's number one in the world, and I'm sure she can live with that, and I'm sure she will continue to prove it every single game that she's playing at the moment. Another 2 goals for her, fantastic. I mean, just incredible. So after all the excitement and the euphoria, really, of Lyon, we come back down to earth on Sunday. We're back in WSL action, and of course, it's the Mat Derby, isn't it? It is the Mat Derby. So Liverpool, of course, newly promoted. Liverpool, who have struggled a little bit recently, but they did beat Chelsea, obviously the first game of the season. So they are capable of pulling off a result against the big sides. And the issue for me now is how we recover from that Lyon game, coming down from that to then get ourselves raised again for a game in the WSL that we're expected to win, obviously. Liverpool near the bottom of the table, you know, they're newly promoted. We did beat them 4-0 on this ground last season in the FA Cup, of course. Katie McKay scored that great goal, didn't she, in that game? And Caitlin Ford scored a couple. So, obviously, we're going to be favourites to win. But it's difficult, isn't it, coming straight after that game, coming down from that and playing a game like Liverpool. If you were playing, say, a Man City or a Manchester United, you could maybe make it easier in a way to prepare. But for a game like Liverpool, no disrespect to Liverpool, but, you know, we're expected to win. And I think that could make it trickier. What are you expecting, Andreas? Do you think there'll be... I mean, do you think Viv will start, actually, or do you think he'll stick with Fried, or do you think Fried is going to maybe play more the European game, give us that extra little drive in midfield?
It might be a problem to concentrate on the normal business now on WSL, but on the other side, it's our daily business, and I'm absolutely convinced that every player in the team and the coaching staff for them, the WSL and winning the title this year is the most important goal. I don't think that the Lyon game is so much in their mind that they now think, oh, we're going to win the Champions League. No, they know that this was a very special night and a very special match with and our chances to qualify for the knockout matches has risen now, but there's a long way to go. But the daily business is more important. And every player wants to win the league this season. So I'm sure, and it helps that it was on Wednesday, not on Thursday. So there's one more day to concentrate. And what also helps is that Liverpool has beaten Chelsea. We all know that Chelsea is top team in the league and one of the favorites for the title again. When you travel away to a team that has beaten the current champion, you won't underestimate them. So we saw what is possible if you don't score. Chelsea got the lead in Liverpool in the first minute, but they forgot to double their lead, and then this could happen. This could have happened to us in Reading, and now I think everybody's aware that it will be a difficult match, and I'm sure the team will be concentrated, and Jonas will get all the girls to focus on this daily business. And let's see what he does with the tactics or with the lineup. I don't think you can put Frida on the bench after this match. But
it would be hard. It would be hard, wouldn't it?
yeah. You did a great job, but now go back to the bench. No, I don't think. Our match. I think we should all trust in Jonas and his what he thinks in his tactics. Yeah, I'm optimistic that we will win there. We are the better team, and yeah, yeah. I think we should take the 3 points and the chance to be top of the league together with United is it's important.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I mean, it is going to be. I think this is where Jonas really earns his money for me, because he's got to get the players rightly focused on this game, because we understand that the higher from Wednesday, and it's very important that we can't underestimate Liverpool. As you said, they beat Chelsea, and I agree that was a very similar game to our game against Reading. We were 1-0 up, looking fairly comfortable. Chelsea were 1-0 up in that game, looking comfortable, and then they, made two mistakes, and it cost them, and they lost the game. And we could easily have done that against Reading, but we didn't. And let's hope we don't do it this week either. But yeah, obviously we'll be massive favourites to win. I mean, Matt, obviously you'll be looking forward to this game, won't you? You're, I'd say the local match for you, isn't it? Liverpool away. I'm sure you're going to be excited to see it. I mean, what are you anticipating? Do you think that Frida will start again, or do you think that maybe Viv will come back in, or maybe they'll both play?
It's difficult to tell.
Well, yeah.
Honestly, so I'll just round up some information that I've got from Liverpool. So the turnstiles will open at 11 o'clock. It's going to be highly attended. They are opening the stand that I was in last season. They're opening that up as well. So there's going to be a lot more room. Whereas when I was at the Chelsea game earlier this season, there was only like 3,000. So they're expecting maybe 4,000 or 5,000 people in that at Prenton Park on Sunday. The car parking is also limited now, so not everyone is able to now park in the car park, which is going to cause chaos around the local area. Just from a Liverpool point of view, they've not scored an open play in the WSL. Both goals that they have got is come from Katie Stengel penalty, funny enough, against Chelsea.
Yeah.
So, but I can't remember who has that long throw. That's
Megan Campbell. That's it. Yeah,
that's it. She's going to be the one that's going to cause the chaos. That's what caused Millie Bright to have that caused Millie Bright to have the handball, and also the reason why that Liverpool got those two penalties against Chelsea and won the game on the opening day. Then it's going to be a difficult test, and when you don't have the two tallest centre backs, you're going to need added height. So do you sacrifice someone like Frida, who she's well, everyone's taller than me apart from Nana Rubucci. Do you sacrifice someone like a Frida and say, right, we're going to need height to help defend these sorts of things, especially Steph as well. Steph's quite small as well compared to Aaliyah.
For a central defender, yeah, she's small for central defender. Yeah.
So these are things that are going to be considered as well. So it's going to be difficult, but I think if we can deal with that, we'll be fine. I think so Matt Beard has said that these are the sort of games that we want to be playing in. They want to be challenging against some of the best teams in England. Melissa Lawley has also said that they've got to believe in themselves. We've got to put our performance out there. They know that then they have not performed as well as they have been, so they're going to be up for it. So I think it's going to be. I could almost see it going one of two ways. It will either be one of those games where we scrape by and get the win, or Liverpool try and get the game done, and it goes the same way as the FA Cup did last season. We go and win 3-0. Just from a personal point of view as well, is that Ginny Flatley has got Flaherty has also got some verbal abuse online. So
that's not good.
she's come out and she said that. And when you've got a former Arsenal player who's done her trade in the WSL, she knows her stuff. She's going to know Arsenal from on the back of her hand compared to some of the other Liverpool players, even Carla Humphrey, who just can't even get the game at the moment. But not much has changed in that Liverpool side, and if I'm honest, I have a feeling that we're going to win this game. I think that I'm going to stick my neck out and say we're going to win it 3-0. I just have a feeling that there's nothing really that Liverpool, they want to try and test us. They're going to try and do what Reading did. And then they'll have the long throws as their main weapon. But they haven't scored an open play, which means that nothing's going to be there. Whereas if they have long throws, I have more confidence that Manu's going to come out and clear it. She's going to punch the ball out in the air. She's going to claim it. If she accidentally punches one of the players in the back of the head as well, and then it'll probably be lost or someone. It won't be. It'll just be an accidental one. But it's just got that feeling. The fact that Liverpool played at Anfield against Everton and lost 3-0. The fact that they played Tottenham away and lost 1-0. The fact that the only time that they've ever scored is at Prenton Park, and it wasn't from open play this season. It says a lot about the side. So if they're relying on set pieces, that's going to be the worry. But I said that again about Wendy Renard, and was it Henri that scored the goal in the end? Mallard. Yeah, quack. So it's just one of those things. I think we're going to have to work on the set pieces and the long throws. As long as we can deal with that, then I have no worries against Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be their threat is going to be set pieces, and we are missing our two best defenders, as we've said, but we've coped so far pretty well. Yeah, I mean, it's Terry's put a comment here. He says, I remember, Matt, it's A4 bags only. No, that was at Anfield. This isn't at Anfield, is it? Is it the same there or not? Is it the same rule there?
No. So, yeah, A4 bag. So it's just a normal bag for Prenton Park. But when it gets to Anfield, it's no bag.
Really?
Right. Which makes no sense because a lot of fans travel to those games. They have a bag with them because they're traveling from all sorts of places. If it's a bit the same with me. If I'm going down to the Emirates, I've got a bag on me because I've got to travel. I'm going to need drinks. I'm going to need snacks. I'm not going to spend. I can't remember.
It's ridiculous saying you can't bring a bag. Absolutely ridiculous. Where else? What other entertainment in the world is there that you'd go to? They'd say, "Well, you can't bring a bag with you." What other entertainment is there? You went to the theatre, they're going to say, "Sorry, you can't bring a bag into the theatre." It's madness. Of course, you should be able to bring a bag with you. It's crazy. Football fans aren't treated like normal people, are they? They're not treated properly. Football fans, well, they never have been, and they're still not now. I mean, what you said when you did that video with the Liverpool game that you went to, it's like I just couldn't believe that. How can they treat people like that? It doesn't make sense, does it? Especially at women's football. Yeah, maybe men's football to a certain degree, even that's ridiculous anyway. But for women's football in particular, it makes no sense whatsoever. You can't treat people like that, or you can't bring a bag in. Well, I'm sorry, but I am because why can I not? It's
just
crazy.
The worst part of it was the fact that no information was out to say, "Oh, by the way, no bags."
Yeah.
And people bought their tickets months and months in advance. I'm just thinking, imagine if Andreas was going to the Manchester United game and then the Emirates turn around and say, "Oh, no bags." Yeah. But Andreas has a flight, so he has to take a bag with him.
Of course. I know. It's crazy. You can't treat people like that. You just can't.
Even when I was talking to the Everton Supporters Club members, they couldn't believe that. They've been in dialogue with Liverpool all week about that, and the fact that it was just thrown upon them on the day makes it even worse. And it doesn't make sense. Apparently it's a Premier League rule that's coming in, which makes no sense in itself. Imagine going to a I'm going to say Nottingham Forest game and being told, "Oh yeah, you can't bring a bag in." Imagine that you've come all the way from, say, Newcastle down to Nottingham Forest for the day.
Yeah,
it's mad. It doesn't make sense.
Absolutely ridiculous. They can't justify that in any way. They cannot justify that in any way. And I know that they say, well, it takes time to search the bags. It takes longer time, so it takes people longer to get in. Well, I'm sorry, just put more people on the staff then. Put more stewards in to search the bags. Don't say people can't bring bags. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely. I mean, at the Euros they started doing it, didn't they? Because the rule in the Euros was you had to have a bag A4 size, wasn't it? You couldn't bring bags bigger than A4 size to the Euros, which I thought was ridiculous anyway for that. But the fact that they're now doing it is creeping into football everywhere. It's just I can't believe it really. It's just annoying. It annoys me. You know, we travel to games and you've got stuff with you. Of course you have. You know what? You can't like not have anything. You know what I mean? Who travels to a game with nothing? What they expect you just to put your phone in your pocket and that's it. Don't have anything else. You know what?
Just phone in your wallet. That's all they want.
Yeah, it's just madness, and it's got to stop. And I think as football fans, we all need to come together and say we are not accepting this. We're not going to be treated like this anymore.
Yes.
We are not going to be treated like this. We are human beings. We're here to watch football, so let us watch football. And if that means we've got to take some stuff with us because we're going, like you said, Andreas getting a flight back afterwards. What's he meant to do? Do you know what I mean? We're going to put his bag, all his stuff in, and he's going straight on a flight afterwards. It's crazy.
You don't even have lockers over there, so that's even makes it even worse. You can't even.
Honestly, it is. I mean, to be fair, when we was at the Tottenham game, it did take a long time for bags to get searched. It did, and we had our bag searched twice. Once at the bottom of the stairs before we went up, and then once at the top, I'm like, I've just had it searched. You know what I mean? What are you gonna search it again for? But that's what they do. Fair enough. Search me bag. I'm not bothered. I've got nothing in there other than my camera. But they can't. They shouldn't. You shouldn't be treated like that as a football fan. You shouldn't be, and it's ridiculous. You know, if you want to sit in the road because you don't like people using oil, that's fine. They'll let you get away with that, but you can't bring a bag into a football stadium with your phone in and with the camera in. Do you know what I mean? It's like, come on, look at it sensibly. Treat us like human beings because that's what we are, and we deserve to be treated better if we go to football. Anyway, Emma, obviously Liverpool. What are you? I mean, Matt's actually. I'm quite liking this new optimistic Matt. Actually, he's predicting wins right, left, and centre all season so far. I can't believe what's going on.
The Lyon game where I
predicted a win all season.
2-1, so I got the one part wrong, just on the wrong team.
Well, I think there's a theory for that. Well, basically, I think because it was first season under Jonas, we didn't know what to expect, so I'll forgive him for that. Yeah, he knows what he's talking about.
By the end of the season, we knew what to expect, didn't we?
He's part of the family, so yeah, we'll forgive him. But yeah, no, as I was saying, going back to Liverpool, you can't take anything for granted. Yeah, I remember the last time they were at WSL when they were controversially relegated. Let's see, because remember the season was decided on points per game.
Yeah,
they gave us two very good games that season. We only beat them 1-0 at Meadow Park. We had the effort cleared off the line, and in the return fixture, needed a late Viv header to win that 3-2. So, I mean, they do have some pedigree. And yes, whilst they've been a bit misfiring of late, they've had no shots on target, but they will all definitely cause us problems, as Matt was rightly saying, with Megan Campbell's long throw. They've got some good players in Mel Lawley, Carla Humphrey. The big blow for them is probably, I think, Leanne Kiernan, because she was doing quite well for them as well last season. But and into this season as well. But I don't think we've really got anything to fear. We can impose ourselves with whatever formation, and I think we're more than capable of beating them comfortably. It's just a question of whether we can just be a bit more clinical in front of goal and not be as sloppy as we were against Reading. So whilst we can't take anything for granted, I think we should go into that game feeling confident, picking up another 3 points, and particularly as this nice record we have going of 11 wins in a row, only faced in that time just 10 shots on target and 9 clean sheets. So yeah, there's a lot to like, but we can't, as ever, not underestimate the opposition.
Obviously, no, we can't afford to underestimate anybody. We saw that last season. Well, not that we underestimated Birmingham, but we saw that you can lose to anybody if you don't play right on it, don't get your game plan right on the day. What's your score prediction then, Andreas? Obviously, you said you expect us to win. Matt's gone for 3-0, which is good. What are you expecting? And do you think it's going to be as comfortable as that?
I think we will lose our record with the clean sheets. We will concede and get one goal from Liverpool, but we will win 3-1.
3-1, okay. I mean, is that obviously Manu Zinsberger got the record for clean sheets in a row, didn't she, at the Reading game? And yeah, I'll see if she can extend. It'd be nice if we can extend that a little bit further. But yeah, I mean, I mean, Matt's right. Liverpool are a threat from set pieces, and we don't have, as we've said, we've got our defenders missing. It's going to be tough, but I mean, I'll take a 3-1. A little bit more comfortable than last week. Maybe a little bit more relaxed at the end, hopefully. Emma, what's your prediction and what are you going for in this one?
Yeah. I think we're flying high, and the confidence will be right up there after the win and against Lyon, and we don't look like a city. Yeah, they've got threats and all that, but I can easily see a repeat of last season's FA Cup. So I'll happily go straight and say I think we can win this 4-0.
4-0, I love that. Good 4-0. That's what I like to see. Regina says there we shouldn't be worried about Liverpool. Well, we're not worried about Liverpool, but you need to be cautious, don't you? Because every team's got a threat and a danger, and if you don't take that threat seriously, it can come back and bite you. As we've seen it ourselves elsewhere. John says there Reading were allowed back into the game, so Liverpool will have watched this and it'll be a tough game. No, exactly, yeah. I mean, if we only get one goal and it's only 1-0. Liverpool from their set pieces are always going to be dangerous. So yeah, we need to. What we need to do this week is, if we do get the first goal, go 1-0 up. We need to kill the game off. That's what we need to do. I don't want to be hanging on again, because that was quite stressful last week. If I had any hair, I would have been pulling it out. That was a tough day actually, but we got 2 wins. I didn't remind you there. John says there, you have to go for an Arsenal win. Yeah, we've got to go for an Arsenal win, of course, we would expect to be. But John says there, Emirates do have a bag we can bring, especially because of the family. Yeah, I think you can bring a bag, but it has to be only up to a certain size. I think there's a size regulation, isn't there, which is ridiculous.
It's A4 now, whereas Liverpool, it was like A5, which is...
Well, A5, basically, yeah. It's just like, it's not, it's about that, that's it, yeah. I mean,
you don't get
absolute mad. Absolute mad. Terry says, as long as you don't take a Magnum and just take a normal handgun, you should be right. Yeah, probably, yeah. Stuff it down your socks, and you might get away with it. John says, why is there that policy? If they want families to go to games, you're not going to bring them. Exactly. I don't know why they've got that policy. It started. I only first noticed it at the Euros when all the things were going out. You had to bring. You could only have an A4 size bag. So normally, your partner would take a bigger bag, which always has done. But obviously for the Euros, we didn't. She didn't take a bag at all. I took my little camera bag, and that was it. And it's like mad that you can't. There don't seem to be any reason for it that we know of, other than they're treating football fans again like second-class citizens, as we've been treated for decades, unfortunately. But they get away with it, don't they? You can do what you like, because football fans don't matter as far as they're concerned. Treat them like anything.
Did anyone else find it funny that they were telling people that they had to take off the bottle lids?
Yeah,
well, I know. But everyone was like, "Oh, you know what? Just put a couple in your pockets and seal them back up." It was just they didn't even check the bottle lids.
No, it's absolute crazy, isn't it? It is crazy, but anyway, I suppose at least now we kind of know what the policy is. But I don't think we should accept it as football fans. We should say no. We're not. We're not here to do anything other than want to watch the football. And if you want to bring a few things with us, like John said, there's some snacks for the kids and whatever. You know what I mean? You've got to be able to do that. You've got
Harry
to.
is going to be at the game as well, so it'll be interesting to see if I can get hold of him, because it'll be interesting to see what his thoughts would be on this sort of thing, because he always brings his daughters to the games.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's not right, is it? Really? The Janitor says there we might score a few more goals like when we used to win 8-0. Well, I mean, Regina did predict 5 or 6 against Lyon, so maybe he might be right again. Who knows? Terry says there whooping coming on Sunday for Liverpool. Only 6 if they're lucky. You see, I don't know. You see, Terry's got 6-0 easy win. Oh, I don't know about 6-0, but anyway. Regina says there it takes too long to queue up. And buy stuff at the stadium. Well, no, you're right. Absolutely, it does. I mean, that Tottenham game is ridiculous. You couldn't get anything at half time. It's just pointless because the queues are massive. So I went down for 2 minutes, saw the queue, and thought, no, I won't bother, and went back. Whereas if you had your own stuff with you in your bag, you wouldn't need to bother with you. But they want you to spend money in the ground. Probably that's what it is. They want you to spend money on their like £10 for a little bag of crisps or something. Anyway, Regina says, how do you deal with hungry kids? Yeah, how do you? Exactly. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Regina says, what's the game on? It starts at 12 o'clock, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's 12 o'clock. It's 12 o'clock. Yeah,
it's an early one. So it's an early start on Sunday. Obviously, it won't be so early for Matt because it's only around. How far away do you live from the ground then? From Tranmere?
So if it only takes me about 40 minutes if I walk. If I was to take the bus, it would take about 15.
Nice.
Oh wow, really close. Excellent. So is it local?
Right in the middle of the Wirral Peninsula, roughly, isn't it? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I've been to their ground before, Tranmere's ground. So yeah, it's if you're driving there, it's a bit of you've got to go through the Mersey Tunnel, haven't you, to get there?
It depends really, because if you're coming from the north, you have to go through Liverpool. But if you're you can sort of avoid it and go around. It sort of depends where you're coming from, really. If you're coming from London, you don't need to go through the tunnel.
No,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
it.
obviously the last time I went there, I was always coming from up north downwards, and I had to go through the Mersey Tunnel, which was fun. So, but yeah, it's gonna be good, isn't it? I'm sure you'll have a good day out anyway, and hopefully we'll get a good victory. I think we'll win. I think we'll win pretty comfortably. Actually, I mean, I quite like Amar's 4-0. Amar's 4-0. Actually, I might go with that. I do think that we'll be buzzing, we'll be confident after the other night, and I think we've got far too much quality in our team for Liverpool to deal with. And yeah, Matt will enjoy it, I'm sure, if we do beat them 4-0, because it'll be a nice little trip home, won't it? And of course, after Liverpool, we are back at the Emirates, actually, in Champions League action. What a great experience that is going to be for everyone. Now, I don't know what the ticket sales are for the game against Zurich. I'm guessing it's not going to be that many, is it? You know, maybe 5,000-6,000 perhaps. I don't know, but even so, it's still a great experience for the players to be playing at the Emirates again. Another game, one of many that we've got this season, and again, it should be a game that we should be confident of winning. Zurich are the weakest team in the group, we know that, and you know, Juventus beat them last week fairly easily, so we should be favourites. I mean, are you expecting a few changes to the team, Andreas, for the Zurich game, or do you think it will be pretty similar to what we've been seeing? Because there hasn't been many changes, has there, for the starting team so far?
It's difficult. We discussed this during the Euros and saw that Serena decided to keep the momentum, and I think Jonas will do the same. Maybe one or two changes. It depends on the Liverpool game, and hopefully no injuries. But the chance of going up in the group with 6 points is so big with a home match against the probably weakest team in the group. So I'm sure we don't want to waste this chance and want to win comfortably in the Emirates on Thursday. Yeah, normally it should be no problem. But well, it's football, and every match starts with a 0-0. Yeah, I hope that there will be 7,000-8,000. It would be fantastic to have 10,000 in the Emirates. Maybe after this match in Lyon, people will say, "Oh well, maybe I should go to the stadium and watch what the girls are doing. They seem to be good." So that's my hope. Yeah, then let's bring the match home and collect 3 points. I think we'll win 3-0 against Zurich. This would be more than enough. And then watch what Lyon and Juve are doing. Maybe they do us a favor and draw.
Yeah, I mean, a draw wouldn't be a bad result, would it? Because then we'd be clear at the top, wouldn't we? But I'm kind of thinking if Lyon lose, they're under big pressure, then, aren't they? No points after 2 games. That will really.
We want to draw. We want to draw.
I mean, you'd imagine Lyon will beat Zurich twice, so that's 6 points for him anyway, there, isn't it? And then it's going to come down to the return away in Juventus and the return against us. So that well, at home to Juventus, sorry, and then obviously when they play us at the Emirates. So this could be quite interesting there. But yeah, we should beat Zurich, shouldn't we? I'm not overly concerned about the result. Just want to see a good game, want to see us play well. Yeah, it'd be nice if there is 10,000. I don't think there will be, though. I've got a feeling, you know, I just think the crowd might not be up to much, unfortunately. I think it was a risk playing the 3 group games at the Emirates because how attractive they were going to be. Certainly, at least one of them was never going to be an attractive game, which is this one. You know, it might have been better to have saved 1 or 2 Emirates games for later stages of the Champions League like they did last year and hope that you get a bigger crowd. I mean, they might do that anyway, perhaps, add an extra one in maybe. But yeah, maybe this game would have been better off being at Meadow Park, if we're totally honest. You know, it would have been a lot more compact. You know, the crowd would have been closer together. It would have been a better atmosphere. But anyway, you know, it's good for the players to play at the Emirates anyway. Again, I suppose it gets them used to it more because we've got some big games to play there this season, haven't we? So, I mean, Matt, what are you anticipating from Zurich? You know, it's going to be a strange atmosphere, isn't it? Because it is going to be a small crowd, you'd imagine.
Yeah, and I was just looking it up. They haven't actually added anything to the original location. So 16 to, I believe it's 19 as the blocks that they've got at the moment. Nothing, no other blocks have been added. So I assume that I think Arsenal, the men are actually playing
afterwards.
the early
Oh,
kick
before the men are playing first, aren't they?
in,
And then that's
away
right,
in Zurich, and then we've got the women at the Emirates. So it's a very odd thing for it to happen. So maybe that's played a part in it. I'm just going through Zurich's squad at the moment, and they've got a lot of the Swiss and Austrian sort of players.
Yeah.
Fabian Hum, who scored the winner against Wales. They've got a 15-year-old forward called Leela Egley. I'm going to say that's probably not how you pronounce it.
Well, it's a good try.
But I'm going to be. I think these are. I think it's a really interesting team. It's almost like they're Hoffenheim sort of type in terms of like ages. Quite young team. The oldest player there is Vanessa Bernayer. I've even butchered that one. A 34-year-old from Switzerland defender. The only German, I don't know if Andreas might know, Olivia Voss, 23-year-olds that plays for them. But there's a few players in there that we may know. Some players that Leah and Noel and Manu and Laura are going to know a little bit better. So I think it will be an interesting game. Just on their league form as well, they're third in the table at the moment. They've won 4 and lost 2, but even when they've won games like 5-3, 4-1, 8-0. They've lost games like 2-0. It seems it's going to be a interesting one. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those ones where we don't know much about them, but there might be a player that maybe sparks that interest, like Laura did last season, and got right. Okay, we want to sign her in the January window. But I'm looking forward to this one because it helps improve that knowledge. Because these are one of the reasons why we love the Champions League, because we're getting to know some of these players that we wouldn't necessarily know. It's good to be there as well. Unfortunately, it's a bit annoying that they're putting it at times where, although it's 8 o'clock, and yes, it's not on the school night because the half term is on. It's another one where you thought, well, can the locals go, or would the locals go? It would be quite nice, but you never know. I have a feeling that we're going to have maybe 8,000 there if we're lucky. But
I mean, I think 8,000 would be a good crowd for the game. Actually, if it was 8,000, I think that'd be a good result. I mean, it was only 5,000 at Wolfsburg game last year. I know it was different circumstances around that. Vijendra says there it's too late, 6:30, a better start. Yeah, no, I agree. He says families need to get kids to bed. I don't think that's an issue. Starting at 8 o'clock on a yes, it is half term. Most places in London are half term, so it's not a school night as such. But even so, if you've got younger kids, it's going to be 10 o'clock when the game finishes. By the time you get home, it's a late night, isn't it? And it's not ideal. Maybe if they want to attract families to these games, then maybe we should start them all at 6 o'clock or 6:30 or whatever. Play them games to be able to allow families to go, maybe. But it's probably not ideal. And I just feel as though this game hasn't been publicised particularly well either. They've not really put a lot into pushing this one in particular because it is the least attractive game. Maybe for this one they should have put reduced price tickets, or give them out to schools and stuff like that, just to try to get more people in the ground. Maybe
actually, before I forget, I think there's also there's going to be train issues as well. I think isn't that one of the problems with this?
Is there another train strike? Is there? Oh, that would be great.
I don't know if it's a train strike, but I think there's problems on the train links.
Oh, that's not good, is it? Anyway, well, we'll see what happens. But I'm not expecting a big crowd, unfortunately. But it should be a good game, as you said. It's good to see these different teams, isn't it? See some different players and experience different stuff as well as the WSL players, which we're a bit more used to. I mean, Emma, what are you anticipating for that? Are you going on? Because you sort of got your season ticket. Are you going on? For
No, I don't think Champions League games are included as part of the membership. You have to pay separately for them.
Oh,
you get a code though.
Huh?
You get a code to so that
Oh,
you
they've
can,
got codes for the Manchester United and Chelsea games, but not for the
no,
Champions League.
no, you should have a code to say, oh, by the way, for the Champions League code
Oh,
when you
but
buy each
I
of your
don't think so.
ticket,
I'll
you
probably
should get
watching.
it.
Oh,
I'll probably be watching on the Zone again. But yeah, no, they did make life difficult from what I was following for Juventus until about deep into the second half, and eventually Juventus' quality showed. Yeah, they're the weakest team in the group, but hopefully, it depends. I suppose it depends a bit on how we do on Sunday. But if we've got a comfortable win, and if we're coming off a comfortable win, and then we should be confident of beating them. But yeah, hopefully they'll use whoever crowd's there, get behind them, and yeah, and I think I'm expecting another comfortable win. I think 3-0 was what I would have gone for as well. So yeah, no, I mean, we'll see what happens, but let's you can never, as I always say, never underestimate the opposition. But we should be fairly confident winning comfortably.
yeah, we should obviously. Andreas went 3-0. You've gone 3-0. Matt, what was your score prediction for Zurich?
Oh, this is the problem, isn't it? Because usually when we play these sorts of sides, we usually give away like their first ever Champions League goal. So
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I would imagine Zurich at least get one. So I'd probably say 2-1.
2-1. Wow. Okay. I mean, I suppose that's still optimistic for you generally. So we'll let you on. I actually feel that we are going to win this game quite comfortably. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if we scored 5 again, maybe 5-0. I just think that Zurich are the weakest team. It's a big pitch at the Emirates. They probably won't be used to playing on a surface like that, and I think that we'll be far too strong for them, and I think we'll beat them quite comfortably. John says there, Sky was showing Reading versus Arsenal preview last Sunday. Yeah, no, what Sky do is every single WSL game that they have on Sky Sports, they do show on Sky Showcase.
That's
so
right.
If you've got the Sky TV package, but you don't have the Sky Sports, all the WSL games that are on Sky are on Sky Showcase. So they were last season, they have been this season. So that is good, yeah. That's how I've been watching them actually on Sky Showcase the last couple of years, because I don't subscribe to Sky Sports because I don't like them and I refuse to pay them all that money. So yeah, it is good that they are on there. Yeah. So obviously, I think our game on Sundays on BBC, isn't it? So that's on the BBC to watch. And obviously, the Champions League games are on DAZN and on YouTube, so they're free to watch as well. So if you want to watch them, they're available, which is great. So yeah, Terry's gone for a 5-1, which is fine. But Rajandra's quite confident. He's gone 9-0. I'm not sure if it was 9-0, but I didn't think we'd score 5 against Lyon, so who knows? Maybe he'd be right. And John's gone 3-1. 3-1 would be fine. We'll all settle for 3-1, and that would be fantastic, wouldn't it? So yeah, I think we're all confident of another week of victories for Arsenal again. We've had a few good weeks of victories. I think we're expecting another one. Not maybe as big a test this week as we had last week, but as we've said, don't underestimate anybody. We still need to be up for the game, play as well as we can, and make sure that we do get the right result. Terry says, Richard actually agree on something at last. I do think we'll score 5. You say 5-1, I'll go 5-0 though, because I don't think we'll concede. Regina says, we need to show that we are one better than Barcelona. Well, yeah, they scored 9 the other night, didn't they, actually, against Benfica. So we know they're going to be strong again. But, if we play them later on, we'll be better than we were last year against them. That's for certain. Who knows? You never know. Right, we have got our last little section to do of the week, which is, of course, Amar takes centre stage for his special little section. So he said he's got a good one this week, so we're looking forward to this. As we usually do, they're normally pretty good. So I'll just get a bit of paper ready in case I need a bit of paper. Right, go on in, Amar. Give us your...
So this week's Chotai's challenges, I've decided to call it from now on because I just thought that's quite catchy. So Arsenal's are well known as the only English team to have won the Champions League, or as it was known back in the day as the UEFA Women's Cup in 2007. So I want to know, which country was the team they beat in the final? From which country was the team they beat in the final?
Yeah.
Who scored the only goal over the 2 legs? And part 3, which former WSL player and current Champions League player played in that game?
Well, we know the first 2. I think everybody should know the first 2 answers.
I failed to spell it.
So yeah,
Yeah.
which country are
England,
you from?
When it was,
Who scored the winning? Who scored the only goal of the two legs? And which former WSL player and current Champions League forward played in that game?
well, obviously it was Sweden and Alex Scott that got the goal.
Yeah.
We all
That's
know that.
fair enough. Part 3.
What a goal that was, actually, by the way.
It was a brilliant goal. I remember it lobbed it, but I still remember that.
Go
Yeah.
through WSL players that play.
A player that's currently playing the WSL.
For a player that's played in a player that's formerly played in WSL but currently plays for a Champions League club.
Oh, okay, right, okay. So not in the WSL now.
A former WSL player but still plays in the Champions League.
And she was a part of that game.
He was a part of that game, correct?
Right, okay, so you're talking about a youngster playing for Sweden.
Could have been an Arsenal player, a younger Arsenal player who played perhaps, and is now playing somewhere else in the Champions League.
I think I am going to put some down, but I think they're wrong.
It isn't. No. I was thinking of Caroline Sager, but she probably hasn't played in the WSL, has she?
Doesn't have to be
No,
Sweden.
she hasn't played in the WSL, nor has she. So that rules them two out.
I can't remember who played for that Umar, called Umar, whatever their name is.
Umea.
I think she's too late. It's too late. I was going to say Oshala.
No, it's not Oshala.
No, she wouldn't have been playing at Arsenal then, 2007.
I'm trying to remember that team actually.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember them all. Who was the goalkeeper?
Was it Emma Byrne?
It was Emma Byrne, yeah. She playing for someone, isn't it? Or she retired?
This is the problem: is that either a lot of them have now retired, or
So a lot of them have retired. Well, most of them have retired, haven't they? So it will be a player who was pretty young then, because you think that's 15 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be someone who must have been maybe 19, 20, or a bit younger to still be playing now in the Champions League. So one of the Champions League
in their 30s then.
Be someone well in their 30s now, yeah. Or I thought so.
I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say Heather O'Reilly.
No, it's not Heather O'Reilly.
That was a good shout, actually.
Not a bad shout. She did actually make a debut at the USA for the World Cup that year, but no, it's not Heather O'Reilly. I'll be pretty impressed if you get this, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Have
we got any nationalities or?
No, I'm not giving that. If I give that, that would be a gimme if I tell you what country she was from. But doesn't necessarily have to.
I mean, I suppose in a way you could say Emma Hayes, because she was part of the Arsenal group and she's now in the Champions League with Chelsea. So
no, but yeah, so
she didn't play though, did she? But she was one of our coaches at the time.
Is she well known?
She's very well known, I would say. Yeah, she's well known.
Okay.
But I'm not going to give too much away, otherwise I think you'll get it.
It's well known. Did you say forwards?
Yeah, former WSL forward and that currently plays for a Champions League club.
Right. Okay. So that definitely it doesn't rule out both of them, but I know they would have been the wrong stab in the darks. I would have gone Ada Hederberg, but she hasn't played in WSL, or Rolfo, and Rolfo hasn't played in WSL either. So they're both.
Rolfo wouldn't have played then, would she?
No, she's 24, isn't she? So
yeah, she'd have been about 8 years old when they won the Champions League.
She's 27 now.
28. Should have been 10 if she was at Fridolina Rolfo.
Yeah, she would have been young. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the thing, isn't it? It's China.
God, this is forward. Who was our forward? Who was our forward in that game?
Doesn't necessarily have to play for Arsenal. Remember?
Is it?
No, I'm just ruling people out rather than anything else at the minute. I'm trying to.
I think I'm getting this wrong. I think Ellen White was one of the forwards, but I think that's wrong.
Don't think so.
She might have been actually. Karen Carney might have been playing him, was she?
Karen Carney. Yeah, Karen Carney was, but she was a midfielder.
She's not playing there anyway, so it wouldn't be her.
People looking at teams now to do.
I'm just trying to picture.
Yeah, you're trying to go through them all, aren't you? It's just,
right now.
I mean, I wouldn't have a clue who was playing for that Swedish team necessarily, but obviously it's somebody who's played in. So I think some Swedes that's played in the WSL.
Is she playing for PSG right now?
Oh, he's got it, hasn't he? He's got it. Who is it, Andreas? Go on.
I got it. It's Ramona Bachmann.
It is Ramona Bachmann.
Ramona Bachmann. Oh, what a great shout.
She must be very, very young at this time.
She was 16. She came on the bench in both games. I seem to remember she hit the woodwork in the second leg as well. She was 16 at the time.
Okay.
16. Wow, brilliant stuff.
Ramona Bachmann. How did you work that one out? I'm gonna guess.
Yeah. She was Chelsea for so
That's
many.
That's correct. Yeah, Chelsea.
Yeah, she was at
Chelsea.
Chelsea,
You
yeah.
probably worked it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ramona Bachmann was the right answer. There you go. Yeah.
Wow. Good effort, that Andreas. Wow, I don't think I'd ever have got that. I wouldn't have assumed she'd have been playing in 2007.
If you want to know our lineup from that day, it was Emma Byrne in goal. The defenders were Mary Phillip, Alex Scott, Katie Chapman, Anita Santi.
Yeah.
Ludlow, Grant, Yankee, Sanderson.
Sanderson, yeah, of course.
Judy Fleeting, Karen Carney.
Yeah.
And then you had the
Of
likes
course,
of
Leanne Sanderson, yeah, I forgot about her.
You had Faye White, you had Gemma Davison, Gilly Flaherty, and Becky Spencer, amongst others, on the bench.
Yeah. But what a great team that was, by the way. That brings back some memories, doesn't it? What a great side that was.
And then you had team with players like Marta and Bachmann and Hannah Youngberg got in.
Yeah, Lundberg was playing for them. I remember her, yeah. She was good, actually, wasn't she?
Marta.
Yeah, Brazilian, yeah. She was good as well, yeah.
It's very odd, though, because you don't think of Marta playing in Europe. You think of her playing over in the US. And
yeah.
I don't even remember how old she is, but I think she's got to be aiming for that.
Oh, she'll be well in her 30s. Marta probably nearly 40, isn't she now?
I think she's aiming for the...
But in these recent times, the Scandinavian teams were really competitive in Europe. And I think the more money is in the game, they don't have a chance.
She's 36 and she's playing for Orlando Pride in NWSL, so there you go.
I'll tell you what, though, it does annoy me that we do not have a Champions League 1 on a badge. It just has the regular Champions League badge. It's
it wasn't the Champions.
We have like a star on our. We have a star on our top, shouldn't we? To say that
we should, yeah.
We should have a big gold star. We should,
like certain other clubs do. I won't point them out because otherwise it might make Andras very angry.
All Champions League in these days. It was European Cup or something.
Yeah, it was European Women's Cup, wasn't it, or something like that? It was called. Yeah. It's the same really competition, though, isn't it? So it's fine. We have.
You know what is really weird as well, because you go on the DAZN channel as well, and when they open, it still has Arsenal LFC. Yeah. So it's a really weird detail to have that you used to have LFC on a trophy.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to win it again. That's what we need to do. We need to win it this season. Then
it'll be brilliant if we can.
Yeah, but then does that count as 1 or does that count as 2? Because they haven't counted the first one.
No, it'll be 2, won't it? It'll be 2 then, because it's the same competition, isn't it? It's just sort of changed its name and it's been rebranded.
We do need a song.
Yeah, well done, Andres. Again, that was impressive. Yeah, and I'm just saying, wow, it's a big week for Bayern as well. I think they've got Wolfsburg in the. What do they call that? If they called Dortmund against Bayern, the Klassiker in the Bundesliga. What do they call the Wolfsburg Bayern game in the women's? Is there a nickname for that?
No, it's not called the Classico.
No. I thought it would be something similar to the Dortmund Bayern or something.
Yeah. It's only the top match of the.
Huge. They haven't conceded, and then they got Benfica. Unfortunately, it's at the same time as the Arsenal game, so it's a big week for Bayern as well. Well, and I read that they're also playing the Barcelona game in the Champions League at the Camp Nou as well, so that's going to be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the home match is in the Allianz Arena.
Oh yes.
They have now decided.
No, that's going to be some special weeks.
Maybe that's my homework then. Try and get like some sort of chant going about. I know we've got the men's one of our version of LA. Maybe try and do a Champions of Europe sort of one.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah. It'd definitely be good. John says, I'm no good at sports quizzes. questions and quizzes, but I always been good at watching the chase. Eggheads and Who Wants to Be Millionaire. Yeah, I love quiz shows on the telly. I watch them all. I like the chase. Actually, the chase is good. Yeah, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? That's back. Actually, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is back, isn't it? With Jeremy Clarkson's doing it now.
Yeah, I'm going. I have to. They actually have accepting applications for that. I'll just do it up before January, so I'm going to try and apply for that again.
Oh yeah, go on, get on there. That'd be good. We'd like to see you on there.
I've been on Pointless. I've been on Countdown. So why not Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
You've been on Countdown, have you?
Yeah, I've been on Countdown. Yeah.
When was that? I have to watch
about
that.
6 years ago. 6 years ago. 6 years ago.
Was it really?
Yeah, they've been
Carol Balderman's still doing it then.
Oh no! Gosh, no. The Rachel Riley does it now.
Yeah, I know she does it now. Yeah,
Was
she did it when he was on.
Yeah, it would have been Rachel
Riley. I
Riley.
was then. I ran into a 6-time winner and I only scored 29 points. So yeah, that was pretty damning for me. But
wow, great stuff.
But there is a site where you can actually join if you join for £20 a year, and you can play against players who have been on the show and really brush up your skills. And that's what I'm on at the moment. So yeah, that's pretty good.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
But it's really good.
Wow. Interesting that you've got TV debuts as well. Because there are places where you can get on for free. Pointless do it, but
I got with a friend of.
If you're on TV, then they don't really turn around to you and say, "Oh, you're not allowed on this one because you've already been on another." But if you've been on 2 ones and different ones and different TV companies, then it might be different.
Yeah, Pointless was different, but I went on with a Countdown friend, a friend of mine who I knew who had been on Countdown, and we got 2 goes. We got to the semi-final. Got to nearly the end on the second go, which was pretty good. But there's all kinds of different questions on there.
Fantastic stuff, brilliant. I do like a good quiz, I like watching them on the telly. So it's good that watch out for you popping up again.
I don't know.
He says we can't have a star because it would put the men's team to shame. That's true, it would like. And I think that's what they're waiting for. They're waiting until the men's team win the Champions League. Then they can put a star on a kit and the women can wear the same kit and it'll be fine then. I think that's what we're waiting for.
Of course, Cole Campbell couldn't catch a break, could he? Every time he goes and scores a winning goal, it was either offside or a foul. And the one time it was legitimate, they go and lose the final.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Poor Manuel. I still get angry with Almunia because he can't guard his front post.
He was terrible. I mean, he was one of the worst goalkeepers we've ever had. I think he cost us about 2 league titles. He cost us a Champions League final. He cost us loads of things. Almunia. He was terrible. He gives me
I tell you, who was worse than Manuel Almunia. He wasn't very good. And remember, there was many years ago when we were playing Portsmouth away in a game. I remember at Christmas time. I can't remember what year this was, but they were always shouting England's #1. I'm like, what the hell? Where'd you get that from?
I was at that game. Tony Adams was manager.
He was. That's right. He was. It was nil. Was it a 0-0 draw?
No, Arsenal won that game. I think it was 3-0 at the time, but
I don't remember.
I just remember like a lot of people went to that game because it was Tony Adams.
Yeah, he was manager of Portsmouth briefly. Yeah, that's right. He was. Yeah, he got a good reception, didn't he? I remember that actually. Yeah.
I'd say our worst ever goalkeeper. There was one guy many years ago. I don't know what happened to him. There was a guy called Richard Wright. He used to make.
I remember him. He was terrible. Yeah, he literally was. He was Richard Wrong, wasn't he? He was the wrong goalkeeper for us, certainly.
He was the last time he was playing at Man City. This was when they got the money. Like this was a couple of years ago, and he was just basically there to keep the English quota up.
Yeah, just sat on the bench.
You've had some. Remember the likes of
what I remember about Richard Wright was he played in goal for us. We won the double. He played a few games because David Seaman got injured, and then a couple of years later, or it might have been the season after, he was playing for Everton. He came back to Highbury to play for Everton, and we beat him 7-0, and he was in goal. And I was laughing so much. And I'm thinking, you were so bad for us, and we just put 7 goals past you. I mean, we were a good team then, but even so.
He's actually the goalkeeping coach for Man City now, believe it or not.
He's not.
He is.
He's coaching Edison. Richard Wright is coaching Edison to be a goalkeeper. He'd take that. He's like, Edison would be laughing at him. What do you know about goalkeeping, mate? I saw you play for Arsenal. You were terrible. Yeah, that's funny. That's made my night.
Even Alex Manninger, and the likes of Rami Sharban, Stuart Taylor, they're all better than him.
Rami Sharban was good. He does decent, with Arsenal fans now.
Yeah,
Alex Manninger was a good goalkeeper. I liked him. John says there Almunia was jinxed. I don't know if he was jinxed. He was just terrible. He was literally terrible. And he
I don't
was
know.
number one goal kicker, wasn't he? He played nearly every single game. And so many big games. Do you remember that Manchester United game, semi-final of Champions League, where he let in that free kick from Ronaldo from about 40 yards at his near post? It's like, I could have saved that. You literally had 4 hours coming towards you, and you just let it go past you. It's like, what were you doing? He was terrible. Almunia, literally, I don't even like looking at him. Every time I look at him, he makes me angry because of how many games he cost us. We should have won about 4 or 5 more trophies if it weren't for him. If we had a better goalie, we'd have won the league about 2 more times. We'd have won the Champions League. We'd have won so many more things. He was just
Fabianski, like every time.
Yeah, but he was all right though. I think he was all right. He won us the FA Cup a couple of times, Fabianski.
Yeah,
I quite liked him. I think he's a good goalkeeper for West Ham as well.
All my memories of him is to literally every time the ball would come from across, he would just flap at it. And
well, yeah, he was a bit flappy. Yeah, that's true.
He was a good penalty.
He was all right. And the funny thing was, Almunia was number 1 and Fabianski was number 2. It's like, well, Fabianski's better than Almunia. So why on earth is Almunia number 1? How did he get that job? How much did he pay Arsene Wenger to pick him every single week? Because he was absolutely terrible. And I'll never forgive him for being that bad. John says there, what are your thoughts on Lehmann? Well, Lehmann was just completely crazy, wasn't he? Let's be honest. He was a very, very good goalkeeper. I mean, Andreas, obviously, you know a lot about Jens Lehmann. Obviously, he was a great goalkeeper, wasn't he? But he was a bit crazy, let's be honest.
Yeah. Football player, he was very good goalkeeper. He had a great tournament in 2006 when he was Germany's number 1.
Yeah, he did,
as a person, he was a bit crazy and he did crazy things. And even after his football career, in some interviews, he was saying crazy things. And I don't think that he's the most intelligent person.
No, he probably wasn't, but he was quite funny. I quite enjoyed him being at Arsenal actually, and he did obviously win. He was part of the Invincibles, so you know he's a legend, isn't he? What's he doing now? Because I saw him on some interview or something. He's still working in football, isn't he? Somewhere.
He was working with Stuttgart at one point, but he got sacked.
Yes.
He was quite fun with the Legends games though, because I remember I think it was the one against AC Milan where he just turned around to Thomas Rositzky and said, "I'm taking this next penalty." But
yeah, it is off his head really when he tried.
He actually works as a pundit, I believe. It says on his Twitter he works as a TV pundit. So there you go.
Oh, does he? Oh, okay. Well,
apparently a report said, I don't know if this is true. It said apparently he was accused of attacking his neighbour's house with a chainsaw.
One.
What? Was he? Wow. He certainly was mad then, wasn't he? They used to call him Mad Jens, and there was a good reason behind it, wasn't there? Because he clearly was mad. But anyway, he was fun. I thought. I remember when he came back, he was about 40, and he played for us in the Premier League against Blackpool. He came on. I was at that when he played actually. Anyway, he played in that game, and he was good in that game. I thought, despite the fact he was well past his best by that point. But yeah, he was definitely a character. John says there, Fabianski and Chesney still earning a crust that they were very young at Arsenal. Yeah, I mean, so Chesney was not as good as he thought he was. He was all right, and he was not a bad goalkeeper, but he seemed to think he was like the best goalkeeper ever, didn't he? He had that kind of seemed to think he was better than what he was. But I quite liked Chesney, actually. He was all right. John says there, Lehmann was unpredictable. He was, yeah. He was a bit off his head. He definitely was a little bit off his head, yeah. Attacking people with chainsaws, I don't think most sane people would do that, would they? So, but yeah, he was a character and he was a good goalkeeper. There's no doubt about that. And I say he was our invincible, so we love him for that. Yeah. I like him really. But yeah, he was slightly mad. But yes, Almunia was not. Shouldn't ever play for Arsenal. Almunia. I don't know how that even happened. I remember when he went for Watford, didn't he? Almunia played for Watford at some point. I think.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah. But he just annoys me looking at it. Every time I see a picture of him in an Arsenal shirt, it just annoys me so much. How on earth did you play for Arsenal? It just I don't know how he did it. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, luckily he's. And
then recently, Bruno said there's not been. He was a bit unlucky, I thought as well. But then he doesn't like. But now we've seen pretty solid with. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. But anyway, don't talk about
Ramsdale. He's a good goalkeeper. Yeah, Ramsdale's all right.
Now Ramsdale's all right. Yeah, Ramsdale's doing all right, isn't he? And I must admit, I've been quite impressed with Matt Turner. What I've seen of him lately.
Yeah, Matt Turner, yeah.
Well, hasn't he? He's settling in quite nicely, so I don't mind him now. He looked a bit shaky at the start, but he's getting better, so that's good. John says there, Chesney still at Juventus. He played well in the win against Zurich. Oh, is he still there? I know he went there, didn't he? He's always like putting stuff on about Arsenal still, isn't he? So he's still Arsenal fan, isn't he? And I do think he's quite funny. But well, I'm glad he's having a good career at Juventus because he's been there a while, hasn't he? So fair play to him. But yeah, we have had a few strange goalkeepers in over the years, haven't we? Let's be honest. But anyway. Yeah,
maybe maybe next week we'll start talking about some of the dodgy defenders we've had down here as well.
Well, there's plenty of them as well, yeah. But anyway, that gives you nightmares as well, doesn't it? But anyway.
Speaking of, I wonder, did you buys see the video of Bukayo Saka taking the video of Beth and Viv, and Beth said something along like he's old enough to be our son or something? That was quite funny.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's like he's 21. You know what I mean? He's not like 14-year-old, is he? Do you know what I mean? Oh, he might be. He's 21, isn't he? He's 21 now. He's just turned 21, isn't he? Bukayo Saka, but yeah.
No, he's great. And then there's also that Amandine Henry video as well. I was watching after the Lyon game. They were saying on the commentary, Beck Smith and Adam Somerton, they were saying, oh, she does a commentary of her own goal in the Champions League final against Barcelona. And it's so funny that even Selma Basha can't stop laughing in the background. So, yeah, I don't know if you haven't seen it, watch it. Just type
no, I've not seen that. I have to watch that. That was a great goal, actually, wasn't it? That Henry goal in that final. Wow, what a strike that was. That was incredible, wasn't it? That was one of the best goals ever. Brilliant. No, that was. John says there, Turner just needs game time. The more he plays, the more confident he gets. No, exactly. Yeah, he's looked good the last couple of games he's played last week. He's looked good. So a good backup, what you need. You need a good backup goalie. We haven't seen our backup goalie for the women yet, have we? Marquise, we haven't seen her play yet. I don't know if she'll get a game at some point soon, but obviously at the moment, Manu keeps keeping clean sheets, so you're not going to leave her out, are we? Keep her in the team because she's playing really well. But yeah, hopefully we might see Marquise one day. Kayla Marquise might come in. Another American goalkeeper that the women have got as well. So there's a few of them knocking around. That's been a lot of fun, hasn't it? A good week for Arsenal again, for the men and the women, but particularly for the women this week. That win against Lyon, I don't think any of us will ever forget that performance and that victory. Yeah. It's fantastic, wasn't it? So good to see such good football. And yeah, brilliant stuff. So we look forward, obviously, now to the weekend. A big game, obviously, against Liverpool. We have to win that as well. And then, yeah, hopefully we can look forward to some more good wins coming up over the next few weeks. Yeah, I'm a bit more confident now. I was a bit worried about, obviously, Leah and Rafa being injured, but I'm a bit more confident now. We've played these 2 games. We've looked pretty good. Stefan and Lotta have done well, haven't they, together? So I'm pretty confident going forward now that we can carry on and keep getting some good wins in the next few weeks while we wait for them to return. But yeah, some good stuff to look forward to. Andreas, thank you very much again for coming on. Have you enjoyed it? Obviously, some good wins to look back on.
Yeah, also it was fun today, and talking about such matches and about wins is always a pleasure. But I enjoyed being here, and thanks for having me.
No, I look forward to obviously next week. Matt as well. Good to see you again. Have you enjoyed the show?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I think this is our longest one so far, so that's
it might be actually.
So, but yeah, I'm always excited to talk about women's football, especially when it comes to Arsenal, and I'm glad I'm finally getting the women's football back. It feels almost like nature's return.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was a few weeks when it was a bit of a wait, wasn't it? We had to wait for the game to come back. It's been good the last week or so. And Emma was well on time tonight, so that was always nice. Good to see you again. You enjoyed the show? Good question.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. Yeah. It's always good to discuss what we love best. It's even better when we win games. And let's long may it continue. And as over another couple of wins this week, we'll watch our teams with earnest. And I just think that I've never known for so many years that to be such a positive energy around the club, watching All or Nothing as well as I have been, and now just in general the way the players are playing is great to be. It's probably the best I'd say bit around Arsenal for good 15-20 years, but long to continue. And long may I continue to sort out my lighting and be on time. So that's good.
I mean, it is. You're right. Actually, it is a fantastic time for the club as a whole, isn't it? Obviously, the women are on the way back. You know, we've had a few years that we haven't maybe been challenging and winning the trophies that we were used to winning. And now the men seem to have turned things around and looking a really good side again as well. So it's a very, very good time to be an Arsenal fan at the moment. We're enjoying it. Long may it continue. And let's hope that it does, because we're enjoying ourselves, which is what we like. Terry says, yeah, great show, chaps. Have a great weekend. See you all on Sunday. And all in the chat to come on, you're going to go 6-0. Well, yeah, maybe 6-0. I've gone 5-0, but anyway, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens on Sunday. So, yeah, coming up on the channel, so we've got 2 watch-alongs for me on Sunday. I'm going to be busy. We'll go live about 10 to 12 for the Liverpool game, which kicks off at 12 o'clock. And then Arsenal playing Southampton kicks off at 2. So straight after the women's game's finished, the men's game's kicking off. So we're going straight from one into the other. So I'm going to need some water with me, and I'm going to need some food and stuff like that. Because I'll be 5 hours last week. But if we win 2 games, I don't care. It'll be worth it. So if you are around, please join me for that. Thanks everyone for watching tonight. The comments as well. Some great comments from you guys, John, Terry, and Rajandra, of course. Always good to see you guys. Big supporters of the channel, which we do appreciate as well. So yeah, thanks to everyone for watching. Don't forget to give it a like before you go. Rajandra says there, great chat, guys. Thanks for watching again, mate. Good to see you. John says there, well done, Richard. Well done, lads, and everyone in the chat. Stay safe. Thank you.
You too, John.
Thank you very much again, John, for watching. Really appreciate that. Terry says there, Matt, give John a song. Matt, give John a little song then, Matt, just before we go, just his little initiation song.
Oh, go on, I'll do Steena's because it's been in my head. Steena, Black Steenie, scores the goals, scores the goals.
We do like that song, actually. And how well has she been playing lately as well? The last couple of games, she's been brilliant.
Different.
So, yeah, she definitely deserves that little song there, so that was good. Steena, Black Steenie as well, brilliant. So thanks to all you guys for watching. Thanks to Andreas, of course, to Matt and Amar, as always. And we'll be back, obviously, next Friday, looking back on hopefully another 2 good wins, and looking forward to some more big games coming up over the next few weeks. It's going to be good. And John says, thanks for that. There you go. You get which is good. Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, Johnny, if you look back on some of the shows from last season, Matt was giving us a song every week for a different player, which was quite good. So look back at some of them because they're quite funny. So yeah, that was good. So thanks for you guys for watching. I say Andreas, Matt, and Amar. We'll be back next Friday with the women's show again. So please join us for that. Of course, loads coming up in the meantime. Loads of watch-alongs, loads of games, loads of shows. It's just loads going on. And Terry says 10 out of 10. There you go, 10 out of 10. A bit like Arsenal's performance the other night, 10 out of 10 in Lyon, and Matt's performance tonight, 10 out of 10. That's what we want to see. So brilliant stuff. Yeah. So we'll see you on Sunday for 2 watch-alongs. I'll try and stay awake. Hopefully the games will be good. Keep me awake. It's going to be good stuff. And Matt, enjoy the game Sunday when you're there. Don't forget to do some videos for us as well, because we look forward to them. That'll be really good. So watch out for that on the channel as well. We will see you obviously over the weekend. The weekend officially starts now, so you can go and enjoy yourself and look forward to a big weekend of football. We're going to enjoy the Arsenal women and the Arsenal men hopefully winning games, and keep it going because it's great. We will see you very, very soon. Take it easy. Thanks for watching, and come on, you Gunners. Beth Mead's in behind, plays it across. Caitlin Ford's going to score, and she has scored. This fast start has been rewarded for Arsenal. 13 minutes played.